Hey team, welcome to this review. The book's Leadership is Language. It's the hidden power of what you say and what you don't. And it's written by Lieutenant David Marquet, or Marquet. I can't quite work out how to say the name right, but bear with me. It was published by Penguin in 2020. Now, this book took me a little while to get through, and now I've got to the end of it. I've had these epiphanies and aha moments. It's one of those books where I wish I'd read the end first, and then I would have got what he was on about, but quite brilliant in outlining a really strategic process. This is all about how we build more effective teams, we get higher output, and how we get better results. And ultimately, in summary, it comes down to leadership, how we communicate and how we strategically lead the way our teams work and interact. It is about how we manage the work, plan it out and pace it. It is truly a military operation. Culture doesn't just happen. It is deliberate and is about every interaction. In summary, there are two lanes. There's a red lane and a blue lane, red work and blue work. And we need both lanes of work at different times. And in each lane, we tend to use different language. Each lane has a different purpose. In this book, Leadership is Language, Marquet is pushing us to lead differently beyond the industrial age. Whilst we work in both lanes, he suggests we need to be very mindful of the impact of our language and that our language can be actually quite consistent and should be different to that of the industrial age. And so he shows us the differences between the two. In the industrial age, there was a clear distinction of those who decided and then those who did the work made from these decisions, the blue workers and the red workers. Marquet is now suggesting that we have moved on from this hierarchy to a flatter leadership model where the gradient has been reduced and where everyone is involved in blue work and red work. He offers language that builds connection and collaboration when we're in both modes of work. Marquet works through his model of leadership plays through 11 chapters and 314 pages. He shares his plays and gives examples of what we might say and better ways of saying it. And then he provides chapters of scenarios to show how and when to apply these. So who is this guy? He is a top graduate of the US Naval Academy. He commanded a nuclear-powered fast attack submarine, USS Santa Fe, from 1999 to 2001. And since retirement, he has worked globally as a leadership consultant. What is inspiring here is he created phenomenal change in what we would regard as one of the most stereotypical command and demand environments where hierarchies are given, the armed forces, in his case, the Navy. If it can happen here, can it be done? It can be done anywhere. So how did he do it? His work breaks our thinking down into understanding red work and blue work. Let's look at this. Red work achieves less variability. Working in the red lane is about compliance, doing, not necessarily thinking and waiting to be told. The blue lane lines up with blue skies. It's about thinking different and being different. We need types of work. We need both types of work, and we need to break down some old habits when we're working in these ways. Our ways of working needs rethinking. Red work and blue work. Well, red work avoids variability, where blue work embraces variability. It's about prove or improve. It's about do or decide. It's repetitive or dissimilar. It's physical or cognitive, individual or team, homogeneity or hetero thinking, production or reflection, performance or planning, process or prediction, compliant or creative, conformity or diversity, simple or complex, perhaps hourly work or salaried work. It's about a narrow focus or a broad focus, steep hierarchy or flat hierarchy, where we reduce the gradient, power or influence, decision makers and doers, and no end to the work, or where there is a rhythm to the work, starts and stops, and everyone's all in. Directions down, where it's sterile and the leaders are perhaps somewhat distant from the team, or about collaborative decisions. It's about conforming or being connected and emotional. It's about directive verbs or invitational verbs, judgment, reflection and learning, fixed control or open and growth, permission or intent, order-driven or team-driven, permitted or accountable. It's about letting the clock run and continue with work, or completing things and stopping the clock and taking time to look at it, reevaluate and pivot. It's about coerce or self-led, a single role in the chain, or having autonomy and relying on trust in a mix of roles. It's about hiding errors or owning mistakes and allowing for growth. Having an I have to know or an I don't know attitude. It's about tasks, or it's about creating and problem solving, investigating and exploring. It's about comply or commit. It's about obey the clock or controlling the clock. So red work is about active production with the aim of putting blue ideas into action. It is about reducing variability, building consistency, and sometimes identical parts. This is a prove or disprove mindset. Blue work is our design thinking and strategic work. It's about reflective, collaborative thinking, and it embraces variability and improve mindset. It's about ideas and options and creativity. In this book, we're asked to measure our language and to really look at the verbs that we use. Red verbs are about closed and control. It's about complete, monitor, resolve, conduct, manage, direct, oversee, supervise, provide, perform, conform. And we need that. We need that when we're in red work mode. And then there are blue verbs like open and teamwork, create, consider, explore, collaborate, propose, initiate, recommend, choose, decide, determine, connect. I guess what he's saying here is that our language has an impact and slight changes can make a difference. He offers a range of examples and scenarios here, but often we might say, okay, tell me if you need me. But that can become, okay, on a scale of 0 to 5, how helpful would it be if I jumped in right now? Or I've done this before as a closed, one of those ones that stops the collaboration of the team, can become, when it comes to improving things, different perspectives are helpful. Where can you jump in? Or, well, you've never done this before, can become, I have done this so many times, it's hard for me to see things objectively. Fresh eyes are essential. And then some of those language things like start your questions with what or how. It's far more invitational. And explain why, remembering that why questions can be confrontational. Consider an exploration of the process of following like, could we, then would we, and then should we, and then get people to commit. That's moving through some of that blue thinking into red thinking. You can't be all blue thinking all of the time, otherwise nothing gets done. Measure your work. Does communication with your team have to follow a chain of command? Or can they free flow it? Can it go anywhere around and people come to you for, check-ins and decisions? Or do you have to be copied into every email going everywhere so you know what's going on? One is a red culture and the other evidence is blue. And we actually want a blue culture even when we're working in red work. Marquet suggests that leaders are working from an old leadership playbook and it's time to move to a new playbook, working more in the blue lane, more often and having everyone in, not just selected people or those in certain roles. He also suggests that innovation is about our daily work. If we have teams who can think and do, then everyone has a part to play. He challenges our norms. Why would you have a separate brainstorming session? Why would you do that? Again, isn't it part of your daily practice or the way that you would want your team to think? The new playbook is broken into 6 parts. Number 1, control the clock. Don't obey the clock. Number 2, complete. Don't just keep continuous work going. Number 3, collaborate, not coerce. And number 4, improve, not prove. Number 5, commit, not comply. And number 6, connect, not conform. So what do these mean? Well, while in red work and transitioning to blue, control the clock. Don't obey the clock. Red work is an endless delegation of tasks. It's about obeying the workday, and the clock and the time that we've got to work. Clock in and clock out, and that's what I do. I turn up, and the clock is ever going. It's all day, every day of the year. So how do we move towards controlling the clock then? There is language that we use that opens opportunities for questions and builds cultures, and there are statements that we make as leaders that stop the questions. The big message here is to control our clock rather than have it control us. Plan for pauses. Pauses give us time to stop, to recalibrate, and to meet needs. Teams need this. So our leadership either allows for this or erects barriers that close this down. For example, so we have to tough this one out. That means there isn't an option to stop. Where other narratives like, we have time to do this right, not twice, give us a more open and input perspective. Plan the work into small chunks. Plan the pathway with regular stops. Create a timeline. Stop the clock to reflect, revise, review, re-ideate and to pivot. Set decision points in advance. Make a pause possible. Name the pause. Instead of pressing on with the word work, call a pause and pre-plan the next one. So number 2, complete, not continue. Again, go back. Work in those small chunks. Stop. Often as you begin the work, you need more stops at the beginning so that you can evaluate, pause, don't leave it too long at the start to stop. This will allow you to pivot, plan it out, stop and celebrate after each pause. Recognize the successes that the work have done. Celebrate with the team. Appreciate, don't evaluate. Use the language of observation, not judgment. I see, I notice, create a sentence with a notice and the impact. And then complete a cycle before you offer the next idea. Offer the ideas at the pause, not partway through the work. And so while in blue work, collaborate, not coerce. Work with a goal to create a culture that invites voice and diverse thinking. Focus on the task, not the person. Understand and explain why. Look at the impact first. Build we, not me. And then we move into number 3, number 4, improve, not prove. It's not about justifying. It's about listening. It's about stopping the clock. It's about valuing, questioning, valuing when people question the work, the impact, the next steps. It's about what if thinking. This happens through collaboration. Drop me and get into we. It's about cultures where mistakes and ideation are important. I don't know is the key leadership language here. When you say I don't know, it's invitational and it brings about ideas and improvement and allows other people to join in. Then transition back from blue work and get into healthy red work. Commit, not comply. This is about ownership and autonomy. Sometimes we have to move forward, even when we've only got it 80% right, and that builds the improve, not prove culture. Commit to learning, not just doing. This is what we're aiming for. We're committing to learn, to actions, to not about beliefs. We don't have to believe in what we're doing. We just have to commit to the action that we're going to take and get in there and have a go and then see how it goes. Stop, review it, small chunks. You might have some greater belief into it along the way. You may not, but you'll see whether it works or not. And short chunks are the key. Create the space to pivot. And are you open to pivoting? In whatever work you're doing, red or blue, it is about connection, not conforming. This is about we, not I. It is not about permission, it's about being part of the change and accountable to it. As leaders, reduce the power base, make it safe to try. This is that culture stuff that we're talking about. Safe to try, to implement, to seek clarity, and to connect. Reduce the space between the boss and the team. You know, the boss only areas, or this is our space and your space. Create diverse teams and cultures of receptiveness and vulnerability. And remember, you won't get it unless you model it first. Buy in authentically. Build your connectedness and your credibility. Reduce, not eliminate. We can't eliminate the gradient between the leader and the team. There should always be a little bit of difference, but reduce the gradient and allow voices. So in summary, this is a 6-step method, a systematic yet connected playbook. Now, we just have to get in there and have a go.